in that article, Regina, you quoted Susan Lee, the writer, saying that it's possible the obsession with K-dramas and K-pop has actually made some people more racist because they think they understand being Korean, so they get a pass on racist thoughts and tendencies. When I read that kind of stuck out to me because, you know, it seems a little bit contradictory. You would imagine that it goes the other way, that the more Korean content becomes popular, the more representation, awareness, the reduction of ignorance. But this was suggesting that it sort of becomes easier to talk about them in perhaps non-polite or offensive ways. What was your take on that idea, Regina, from Susan Lee?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, like, when she wrote that, I was like, oh, like my initial reaction was like, yeah, that just seems like kind of counterintuitive. But then she actually wrote that in response to a tweet that was shared by this famous novelist, Korean American novelist named Aro Kwon. Mm-hmm. And she had like shared screenshots of like what I guess this person professing to be like an elderly white lady who likes Korean pop culture and watches Korean dramas. Like she basically like wrote to Aro Kwon, and she said some like very strangely like stereotypical things about Koreans, and just very like racist things about Koreans. It was a very like strange message. And throughout her message, she also said how much she loved Korean culture, and she's like, oh, like I'm not racist, I can't be racist because hey, like I watch K-dramas all the time. So you know that like there was proof right there, right? That like what Susan said, it could very well in fact be true. And I've thought about that like ever since, you know, I came across those tweets. And you know, sometimes, I mean, I want to say, and like I would like to think that, you know, because Korean culture has become so popular across the globe, and like more recently in the US as well, like I would like to think that like, it's opened up people's minds, and people have become more accepting and appreciative of like not just Korean culture, but like, you know, people of Korean descent. But at the same time, like, you know, sometimes I wonder if some of these people are just like so fascinated with and obsessed by Korea, or like fascinated by and obsessed with Korean culture because it's like some sort of like fetish that they have. You know, I wonder about that because like, you know, I look at some of these like K-drama fans, for instance, and like, you know, some of them like I can tell are like, you know, just like very genuinely curious and interested. But then, you know, sometimes I wonder, like, you know, like, is it a fetish that they have? Like, I don't know. You know, like, I don't want to, like, offend, you know, any, like, Korean pop culture fans. Like, I don't want to pass any judgment either. But, you know, it is very interesting. And, you know, whether I've seen some of these people, like, you know, be racist at the same time and arbor stereotypes, personally, no, I haven't. Like that instance, like that I mentioned in my Elle article, like was really like the only instance that I came across. But then I remember like people were like, you know, reaching out to me on Twitter saying like, oh yeah, like I've seen this happen. So yeah. So like if they say that, like I'm pretty sure it happens.